What's up guys, my name's Brandon, and by now you've probably already unboxed your brand new iPhone 12 or iPhone 12 Pro. You may have already gone through the initial setup process by watching my setup video, but now you may be going through the settings, trying to explore and kind of just figure out what you should change or find out what's new here with the iPhone 12 compared to previous iPhones. So that's why I wanted to make this video, to show you the first things that you should do. So that's going to be the first settings you should change, the first features that you should get familiar with, and more. And this video is going to be beneficial for everybody, no matter if you upgraded from the iPhone 11 or 11 Pro last year, or if you're upgrading from like the iPhone 6s, iPhone 7, or iPhone 8. This video should start you off on the right foot with your brand new iPhone 12 or iPhone 12 Pro. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it. So the first thing you should do is get familiar with 5G. So 5G was all the rage at the iPhone event. It's all everybody's talking about this year with smartphones, and most people do not understand fully what 5G is. So I'm going to break this down in layman's terms and try to make it very simple for you to understand, because a lot of people are going to be kind of disappointed with the speeds they're getting on their iPhone 12 or iPhone 12 Pro, at least in 2020. So first off, there are two different types of 5G. So you have frequency range 1, which is sub 6, and that's pretty much only 20% faster than LTE, but covers a broader range than LTE. And then there's FR2, which is frequency range 2, and that is millimeter wave. That is the high band that is extremely fast, but doesn't cover near as much real estate because it requires pretty much new clusters of tiny towers around town, which is why you see 5G advertised in big cities. And 90% of you guys will not see those insane like 1 gigabyte, 2 gigabyte speeds of upload and download. So 5G is really just more useful for bringing LTE to those who didn't get it before, and actual 5G speeds like using millimeter wave, which by the way is only available in the United States at the moment, and that's part of the reason we have this antenna right here on the right hand side, is for millimeter wave. And so a lot of you guys are not going to get crazy fast speeds with 5G. You may see slightly better speeds than LTE, but I would not expect a huge jump in speeds unless you live right near a tower, unless you're just constantly being near these 5G towers. So just keep that in mind, and that's the first thing I want you guys to do, is just fully understand what 5G is. And if you want the big breakdown, like the very specific breakdown of 5G, I will link an article down below where you can read the specifics of 5G and FR1 and FR2. All right, so now that we've got the 5G talk out of the way, the next thing I want you guys to do is configure your 5G settings. So if you go into your settings right here and then go to cellular and then go to cellular data options and then voice and data, you will see right here, we have some options for 5G. So you have 5G on, 5G auto, or LTE if you do not want to use 5G at all. So as you can see, I selected 5G on. However, that's not going to be the best for battery life, because 5G will be one of those things that is going to drain your battery if it's on constantly. And that's simply because there are not a lot of 5G towers around yet. So it's gonna be trying to constantly connect, it's gonna be connecting and disconnecting. It's gonna have a hard time, keeping a stable connection with that 5G tower. So 5G auto is what I would recommend everybody change their voice and data to. And you can see down here, it describes that it says 5G on uses 5G whenever it's available, even when it may reduce battery life. 5G auto uses 5G only when it will not significantly reduce battery life. So yeah, it's a pretty obvious choice to go with 5G audio here under the voice and data settings. But if we go to data mode, this is where you also see some interesting settings with 5G. So we have allow more data on 5G, and it says that provides higher quality video and FaceTime when connected to 5G cellular networks. Then you have standard, which it says standard allows automatic updates and background tasks on cellular, but limits video and FaceTime quality. And then you have low data mode, where it says it helps reduce Wi-Fi and cellular data usage by pausing automatic updates and background tasks. So this is going to be a personal preference setting right here, but I think most people should probably do either standard or low data mode. Low data mode will be the best for, battery life. So if you want to have the best battery life possible, that will definitely be something to configure. Myself, I'm just going to stick with standard. Now, if you do have allow more data on 5G, this will actually allow you to download software updates over the air through cellular. So you will not need a Wi-Fi network to be able to update. So if you have a software update right here, you will be able to actually download that over 5G, which is nice. And that's the first time Apple has allowed that. So yeah, just go ahead in here and configure your 5G settings. These are all new here for the iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Pro. So the next thing you guys should do is get familiar with the gesture controls and haptic touch in iOS 14. So this is going to be important since a lot of you guys are actually going to be coming from pre-iPhone 10 devices. So an iPhone 6s, iPhone 7, iPhone 8. I know a lot of users are coming from those phones and they may not know all of the gestures here with iOS 14. So like going from out of an application to the home screen, you just swipe up from the bottom. To get to the control center, you just swipe from the top right there. You know, if you want to haptic press, you just press down like so, and it's not pressure sensitive anymore. So with 3D touch in the past, it would be pressure sensitive, but now it is not with haptic touch. If you want to go to the app switcher, you just pull up from the bottom and hold and then let go, as you can see right there. So I'll do that one more time. And then of course you close applications by swiping up on them, even though I recommend most people not to close out of their applications. And then to screenshot or turn off the device, just hold the side button and the volume up button together at the same time. And that is how you can get this prompt to turn off your phone. That is also a way to disable Face ID, where you're forced to put in a passcode if you want to. And then to take a screenshot, it's also the side button plus the volume up right there. You can tap on that, you can mark it up, and things like that. So again, this is going to be mainly a tip for those coming from a pre-iPhone 10 device that had a home button, because all of these gestures will be new. The next thing you guys want to do is customize your home screen. So iOS 14 brings a lot of new features to the home screen. As you can see, I have a widget right here which shows my music, my battery life, and also the weather right there. And you can change that to anything you want. There's different sizes and everything like that. So if you just tap and hold anywhere on the home screen, tap the plus up in the top left corner, you will see that you have all these different widgets that you could add right here. And you do also get different sizes. So like for this, you can see there are multiple different sizes, and you can just go ahead and add this to your home screen like so. And you can go ahead and tap and hold if you want to edit it. You know, some of them you'll be able to actually edit the widget from that menu right there. And if you want to add another one to make a stack on top of it, you can also like add this right here and then kind of just drag it over top, and it makes its own little stack, which you can swipe through just like so. So get familiar with the widgets here in iOS 14. Also, if you swipe all the way over to the right over here, you'll see you have your app library. So this is where all of the applications will be that you install. And actually, if you go ahead and let's just say for contacts, for example, if we wanted to remove this from our home screen, but not delete the full application, we could just simply go to remove app, and then we can move it to our app library. That way, that icon is disappeared from our home screen. It does not show up on our home screen anymore, but it is in the app library, and we could see it in one of these pre-made folders, or we could search for it, and you can see this is in alphabetical order right here. And actually, my preference is to have the applications, when you download a new application, for it to go to the app library and not to your home screen. And I think that's just great for having a really clean home screen. And to do that, just go to your settings right here, go to home screen, and change newly downloaded apps to app library only. And then you may want to have notification badges in the app library as well. Both of those settings I would recommend changing. And you can also hide entire pages here in iOS 14. So I'm just going to move this icon over right here where it was. Now, if you want to hide this entire page right here, if you just tap and hold, and then you see this little background on the page dots at the bottom, if you tap on that, you'll see this menu right here. So if you go ahead and uncheck that home screen right there and click on done, you will see that that home screen is no longer there. So it says page editing and newly downloaded apps. It shows it right there. And you can see there that page has completely disappeared. And if you want to get it back, just simply do the exact same thing and then check it off, and you will see that that page reappears. So a lot of cool things you could do with the home screen here in iOS 14 on your iPhone 12. The next thing you guys should do is configure your display settings. So with the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro, you get the Super Retina XDR OLED display. So we do have an OLED display on all iPhone 12s this year, which is nice. And that means that dark mode is going to be especially beneficial. So if you go into your settings, go to display and brightness, I would highly recommend turning automatic on, and then you can configure your options here when you want it to go into dark mode. When you click on dark right there, you can see we have that true black dark mode. And since this is an OLED panel, dark mode is also going to save battery life, since the black pixels are not on and they're not using battery life. So really take advantage of dark mode. At the very least, turn it on automatic. A lot of people use dark mode all around. Me personally, I keep mine on automatic because I like it light during the day. But dark mode will save battery life on these OLED panels, so definitely take that into consideration. Also, we have True Tone. I really like True Tone. I would recommend having that on as well. If you want to read about it, you can do so there. It basically just changes the iPhone display based on its surroundings. And these two are very important to change as well. So auto lock, I personally have this on either never or 5 minutes, just simply because I do not like my iPhone screen dimming when I'm reading something or when I just sit it down for a second. I don't like when it dims and locks on me. So I always set this to either 5 minutes or never. I would recommend never if you always remember to lock your device. But me personally, sometimes I'll fall asleep, with my device on, and I would wish I had auto lock turned on. So I would recommend 5 minutes or never, but of course that completely depends on your situation and how you use your iPhone 12. Now, raise to wake is one of those features I would recommend turning off. So this is on by default, but I would recommend turning it off just to save some battery life. So with this on, you'll see that when we go from the lock screen and kind of hold it up like this, you can see it unlocks because it detects that we're pulling it up to our face. So that's nice, but sometimes you may not actually be doing that. You may not be pulling it up to unlock your device. Sometimes there's like false triggers, and it's just overall not a great option to have turned on for battery life. So again, that is going to be personal preference, but definitely something you should consider. We also have night shift right here, which I personally never use, but that is something to take into consideration. Now, one other thing, the last thing I wanted to mention with the display is if we go into our accessibility settings right here and then go to display and text size right here and then go all the way to the bottom, we have auto brightness. So auto brightness is one of those things where, again, it completely depends on the user, but me personally, I do not like having auto brightness turned on. I like being able to manually control my brightness, and this is actually enabled by default. So I would recommend turning that off if you're like me, but if you do like auto brightness, you could go ahead and keep that on. It probably will save you battery life with auto brightness, but me personally, when it gets dark, I always turn my brightness down manually. So really not a big deal for me, and it annoys me more than anything. So definitely another thing to consider there. The next thing you guys should do is try out the new 10-bit HDR Dolby Vision video. So this is one of the headlining features of the iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Pro this year, and this is what's going to make the camera on these devices much better than they were last year with the iPhone 11 and iPhone 11 Pro. So if we go into our settings and then go all the way down to camera, go to record video, and make sure that HDR video is enabled right there. And you can see it says record up to 30 FPS video in 10-bit high dynamic range, including Dolby Vision. And so since you can only record HDR video in up to 30 FPS, I keep my record video on 4K at 30. But if you have an iPhone 12 Pro, you can record that HDR video in up to 60 FPS. So that is one of the big advantages of getting the iPhone 12 Pro over the regular iPhone 12. However, most people are probably not going to, use this too often because it will eat through your memory, and it's probably not a big deal from 30 to 60 for most people. But HDR video, I would definitely go ahead and try that out. And I'm just going to show you guys the difference. You can even see the difference in quality just from the view on the iPhone itself. Like even before you pull it into like a video editing software, even just on the iPhone screen, take a look at the difference. So this is non-HDR right here, and take a look at the desk. Pay close attention to the desk right here. You can see the level of white, and then in HDR, take a look at that. Exact same lighting, everything was the exact same. Non-HDR right here, HDR right here. So even just looking at the iPhone screen, you can see a massive difference with that 10-bit Dolby Vision HDR video recording. So definitely go ahead and test that out. You will want to record some videos in that and just show your friends and really just impress everybody with the amazing video quality on your new iPhone 12. And you can also edit this HDR video recording. So if you go ahead and edit something real quick, I will show you how this works. And you're gonna notice right away when you start recording, by the way, how great this quality is. And when we play it back, you can see HDR up in the top left corner, indicating that we did just shoot that video in HDR. Now, if you go to edit right here, you can also edit this footage with some filters and things like that. You can't really do a ton, but you can do a little bit more in iMovie. So if you go to these three dots and then tap on iMovie, as long as you have iMovie downloaded, and you'll be able to edit the video in iMovie, or you could just open up the iMovie application and edit this Dolby Vision HDR footage in that application. Now, speaking of the camera, you do also get some additional new features as well, like night mode for both lenses and all three lenses on the 12 Pro. So you get a lot of things like that. You can also do night mode time-lapse videos on the iPhone 12 Pro specifically, but there are just a lot of things to explore with the camera. So definitely do not sleep on the camera here on the iPhone 12 or iPhone 12 Pro. It is by far one of the best features of this new device. The next thing you guys should do is get a USB-C power block. So this is the first year that Apple is not including a power block whatsoever with the new iPhones, and that's why you will need to pick up a USB-C power block if you do not have one in your house already. Luckily, I've already had, quite a few sitting around in the house, but if not, you can just go on Amazon. There are multiples on there for as low as, I believe, like $10, $12. You're gonna see a lot of them for much cheaper than what Apple is charging for their USB-C charger. So I will be leaving some links down in the description below if you want to pick up a USB-C block to charge your iPhone. Now, speaking of charging, we do also have the MagSafe charger this year. So this is the new accessory from Apple, and this is a $40 accessory, which is basically a wireless charger that attaches magnetically to the back of your iPhone 12 or iPhone 12 Pro. Has a nice grip on it, and it will power your iPhone 12 or iPhone 12 Pro. However, it's not going to be as fast as charging through a USB-C to Lightning power block. The next thing you guys should do is go ahead and set up Face ID and set up an alternate appearance if you have not done so already. So if you already went through the initial setup process, you may have already done this unless you skipped it. But if you go to your settings and go to Face ID and passcode, and I'm just going to go ahead and enter in my passcode, you will see you have all these options for Face ID here as well. So iPhone unlock, iTunes and App Store, Apple Pay, password autofill. I like all of these to be enabled. And if you go down here, you can also set up an alternate appearance. If you go ahead and tap on that, you can add a new face, or if you wear a lot of makeup, if you just look completely different in different scenarios, you get set up an alternate appearance here. And that way, both of your appearances, or if you are giving your phone, if you're sharing your phone with somebody else, both of you guys can get in with your different Face ID scans here. So definitely recommend setting up an alternate appearance if, once again, you share your device with somebody, or if you just look completely different in certain scenarios. And then I would also recommend having require attention for Face ID enabled. And you can see there, it says True Depth Camera will provide an additional level of security by verifying that you are looking at iPhone before unlocking. Some sunglasses may block attention detection, although I've never had an issue with my sunglasses. So I would recommend keeping everything as default here. And the main thing I wanted to talk about was just to set up Face ID if you haven't done so already, and to set up an alternate appearance if you have not done so already and you need to. I should also mention here that Face ID will be faster than it has been on previous devices. Even if you had an iPhone 11, I've noticed that Face ID is just a little bit faster. And if you have like an iPhone XS or older, Face ID will be much faster to you. So that is another big benefit of getting the iPhone 12 or iPhone 12 Pro here. It's going to unlock faster and be more accurate with the Face ID readings. The next thing you guys want to do is very important. So you guys need to go ahead and watch my battery saving tips video, because you're going to want to get a good start on your brand new battery here on your iPhone 12 or iPhone 12 Pro. You do not want to ruin this within the first month or two of having it. So it's very important to watch that video. It was a very long video, and I can't cover every single tip in this video, of course. So make sure you guys go ahead and watch my battery saving tips video. That is linked up in the cards right now, and also down in the description below. I will also tell you to go into your settings right here and go to battery, and then you go to battery health, and you want to keep an eye on the maximum capacity there. You do want to make sure that is at 100% when you get it. If not, you may want to return that for another one. Also, optimize battery charging. I would recommend having that turned on. You can read about it down below, and then just monitor your battery usage charts right here. Pay attention to this and see what's using the most of your battery life. Also, screen time, if you have that enabled, which I recommend most people do, but I could see why you wouldn't. But anyways, you want to make sure and check in on your screen time from time to time and see the activity, see what's draining your battery the most, see where you're spending the most time on your phone, see what's sending you the most notifications, and just take action on that. So just pay attention to those different settings there. And also location services, you do also want to pay attention to as well. So if you go to your settings and privacy, location services, you want to make sure that location services are turned off for applications that you don't absolutely need the location turned on for. And actually, I'll give you guys a little tip here as well. So if you go into system services right here, I would go ahead and deselect all three of these right here. And also significant locations, I would go ahead and turn that off. Significant locations is pretty much just going to track everywhere you go, and it will pretty much just tell you, it's going to kind of guess where you're going when you get in the car and things like that. And some people think it's a breach of privacy. I don't think so. I think it could be useful in a lot of different scenarios, but most people probably do not need significant locations turned on, and it is one big thing that will drain your battery life here on your iPhone 12. And also, these location-based alerts and suggestions can be turned off. I would recommend turning those off as well. So again, if you guys want to see all of these settings to change on your iPhone 12 to save battery life, make sure you guys watch that battery saving tips video, which once again is linked up in the cards and down in the description below. The next thing you guys should do after getting your brand new iPhone 12 or iPhone 12 Pro is set up Apple Pay inside of the wallet application. So Apple Pay is one of those things where when people say they don't use it or they have not set it up, I'm always like, how? You know, this is 2020. Most people should be using this by now, especially with COVID going on and all the germs out there. I never touch machines when I go into a store to pay for anything because I always just do it through my phone. And I would recommend everybody set up Apple Pay if you have not done so already. All you have to do is click on the plus right here. You will get the prompt here to set up Apple Pay. Click on continue. Go ahead and click on credit or debit card, and then just go ahead and add your cards. Some of them may already be linked to your account. If not, just go ahead and add them right here. And I would highly recommend having this set up on your new iPhone 12. And if you want to take it a step further, you could also get the Apple Card to get 3% back on Apple purchases and 2 and 1% back on select purchases as well. So that's what I have. I did also do a review on the Apple Card if you want to see that. But you can see there after you add your cards, it will say card added, and then you can use Apple Pay in stores when you're getting gas, whatever the case may be. I would just recommend using Apple Pay pretty much everywhere you go, especially with everything going on in the world right now. The next thing you guys should do is go ahead and enable emergency SOS and make sure it's for the lock screen as well. So this is extremely important for your safety. Like if anything were to happen, God forbid, hopefully it doesn't, but if it does, you will want to make sure that emergency SOS is turned on, and you also have this enabled for the lock screen. So if you go to your settings, emergency SOS, make sure call with side button is turned on. That way you can easily go ahead and enable this if you need to. And you can see there it says call emergency SOS when you rapidly press the side button 5 times. Pressing and holding the side button along with the volume buttons will continue to work when this is on. So make sure that is on. You will also want the countdown sound as well in case you accidentally trigger it. You can go ahead and disable it if you want to. But right here is what you need to do as well. Set up emergency contacts in health, go to edit, and then scroll all the way down to the bottom. And you guys want to make sure that emergency access is enabled right here. You want to make sure show when locked and share during emergency call are both enabled right here. And if you have also not filled out your medical ID, I would 100% recommend doing that because once again, you never know what could happen. You could just be out for a random short drive, just going to pick up groceries, and you could get into a bad accident so bad where people cannot identify you, or maybe you can't talk, and then your phone is there and they can see everything about you, your emergency contacts, your weight, if you have, medical conditions. I would just highly recommend enabling that. And also if you go into the health application right here, go to health details, medical ID. This is where you can go ahead and change or add anything related to your medical ID. And I would, again, highly recommend doing that. Everybody should have that set up on their iPhone 12. So as you can tell, the next thing I recommend you guys do when getting your brand new iPhone 12 or 12 Pro is to get a good case and a good screen protector. So you can see here, I have some cases from Totally, some cases from Casetify, and also some cases from my friends over at Pitaka. And there are a ton of cases out there, a ton of good screen protectors. I will link to my favorite ones down in the description below, and I'll go ahead and show off some of these cases as well. So Totally makes a really cool thin case. So this, for example, is a clear case and it looks pretty nice. So let's go ahead and slot this iPhone 12 in there, and you can see we have this clear case and you can see the backing very well as well. And it's just a very slim, very easy to use case that I really like. Totally always makes really thin cases that I'm a fan of. Of course, these are not going to help with drop protection. So if you're looking for something to protect your phone from drops, this is not the case. But if you just want something simple and stylish, this is an option out there. And then we also have a cool carbon fiber case here from my friends over at Pitaka. So of course, all these companies did send these cases out to me for free. So I just figured I'd put that out there, but I am a fan of their cases nonetheless. You can see here, this is a Pitaka case. I believe it's called the Pitaka Air case, and it's a very slim carbon fiber. It feels really good as well. And you can see the cutouts there for the volume rockers, and of course the power button over here. The bottom is exposed a good bit. And of course, this again is not going to protect you from drops. So if this drops, you will probably crack your phone. So just keep that in mind. This is just simply for looks, just like the other case, the Totally case as well. And then we have some pretty cool custom cases here from Casetify. You can see here, we go ahead and throw this into this case. Now this one will protect you from drops, and you can see that actually looks pretty clean there. They customized it to show my name, which is actually pretty cool. You can see Casetify around the camera right there. And this is a pretty nice case. I actually like this case more than I thought I would. And this will protect you from drops a little bit because we do have a lip right there. Now, some others that I really like as well are everything Apple Pro. Philip over there has a cool case company called Phone Rebel, and their cases are going to protect you from drops and also leave the sides exposed for a really cool, very unique look here. And it does have carbon fiber on the back as well. There are different styles, and I believe his iPhone 12 cases are coming very soon. And again, I will link a lot of my other favorites down in the description below. Along with screen protectors, I would recommend having a screen protector on your brand new iPhone 12 or 12 Pro as well. Even though we do have increased durability on the front glass this year, I would still recommend getting a screen protector to protect it from scratches. And I would also check out Apple's new line of cases as well. So they have a lot of cases that take advantage of the magnets inside of the iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Pro. And basically you can attach like a wallet to the back of your iPhone, and there are other cases as well that take advantage of that magnetic circle inside of the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro. And then again, I will bring up the MagSafe charger as well. This is also another thing to consider if you're looking for accessories and things to buy for your iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Pro. So everything I'm talking about will be linked down in the description below. And then the final thing I would recommend you guys do after getting your brand new iPhone 12 or iPhone 12 Pro is to go into your settings right here, go to your name up top, go to iCloud, and you want to make sure that iCloud backup is turned on. You want to be backing up all of your data just in case something were to happen to your phone. I would recommend having iCloud backup on and click on backup now. And then when you plug it in every night before you go to sleep, it should back up every single day to keep all of your information synced. And I would recommend also checking off all of these as well, or just whatever you want to back up. Now also, if you go to manage storage right here, some of you may not have enough space, but I would recommend going ahead and buying some additional storage space because it is very, very cheap. So if you go to change storage, or for you, it may say buy storage right there. And you can see you can actually get storage for as low as 99 cents per month. So you get 5 gigabytes of cloud storage for free. And then you can up that to 50 gigabytes for just 99 cents per month, and then up to 200 gigabytes for $2.99 per month. So most of you guys will probably only need 50 or 200 gigabytes, which is minimum $1 a month, maximum $3 a month. And that is a great investment to make sure that everything is backed up on your phone, all of your photos as well. So if you take a lot of photos, of course, iCloud is an absolute must, and you want to make sure that photos is turned on right here. That way all of your photos get synced to the cloud as well, and it saves you storage space on your phone. So definitely recommend going ahead and purchasing more iCloud storage if you need to. And another thing I would look into is adding Apple Care Plus to protect your investment, that is your iPhone 12 or iPhone 12 Pro. So to do that, just go to your settings, general about, and you will see your limited warranty right here, and it shows when it expires. And then you also have Apple Care Plus coverage available. If you go ahead and tap on that, this is where you can buy Apple Care Plus. So it says it gives you technical support and hardware protection, including accidental damage coverage. There are 60 days remaining to add Apple Care Plus. So you will be limited to when you can add this, which is why I wanted to add this into the video, because you did probably just get your iPhone 12 or iPhone 12 Pro. So that is something to consider. It's not for me just because I really never drop my phone and it's pretty much always protected with a case. But if you like to rock your phone naked, you don't like rocking cases, I would definitely go ahead and recommend at least looking into Apple Care Plus. But anyways, guys, there you have it. Those are the first 14 things I would recommend doing after getting your brand new iPhone 12 or iPhone 12 Pro. So I hope these helped you out. I hope at least one of these helped you out and got you up and running on your new device. So if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate if you gave this a thumbs up. Also leave a comment down below with what iPhone 12 you got. What color is your favorite? Did you get the regular 12? Did you get the 12 Pro? Let me know all of your thoughts down in those comments below. I really appreciate them. You guys know I respond down there as well. But anyways, guys, thanks again for watching the video, and I'll see you soon.